Hello, everyone. My name is Joe, and my team members are Chad and Myke. Our presentation today focuses on the purification of industrial wastewater for reuse in direct crop irrigation. Next slide. So before we can start treating the water, it is important that we have some background information on the quality of the water. It's also beneficial to know the source. In our case, it was from a metal finishing plant that specifically dealt with copper. To get some background information on the quality of the wastewater, we ran a few tests and found a few things like the wastewater's turbidity, which is basically how clear the water is, its pH level, and if there was a presence of microbes such as bacteria or viruses. Next slide. In our specific analysis, we found the pH to be quite low with a value of 3.5. The turbidity was 4.8 NTU, which isn't crazy high, but it did need to be reduced to a value less than 1. Our tests for TSS, or total suspended solids, and TDS, total dissolved solids, proved that there was indeed mineral matter present in our sample. This can also be seen in our conductivity tests, which also proved that there were ions present in our sample. We didn't find any BODs or biochemical oxygen demand, but we did find a small amount of chemical oxygen demand or CODs. This was expected as our sample was from a metal finishing plant and not municipal. Next, Myke will talk more about copper and our treatment method.
So copper plating can be used to increase electrical conductivity, malleability, and corrosion resistance. It'll be used in aerospace, to electronics, to telecommunications. We were able to measure our toxic metal by using absorptivity, or taking a sample of absorptivity of the sample. The higher level absorptivity meant the more copper that was present in our wastewater, which a high level of copper is toxic to plants and agriculture. So we're trying to minimize it as much as possible. Our treatment method was to find the optimal pH level for copper and produce a precipitate. We did this by a sodium hydroxide solution of adding 0, 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, and 3 milliliters to the beakers on the right and the picture on the right. The more we found out, the best solution was adding 3 milliliters of sodium hydroxide, which produced the most precipitate. As you can see on the pictures to the right, the precipitate is the blue matter that forms at the bottom, which was mainly copper. Furthermore, we tried to remove more copper by adding polyaluminum chloride, and to create a coagulation, we did this by adding 0, 50, 200, 400, 600, 1,000 microliters. And we determined that 1,000 microliters produce the most amount of coagulation, which is another form of like precipitation at the bottom of the beaker. Yeah.
Israel recycles 95% of their wastewater, which includes industrial wastewater. Based on the parameters, the water is classified as either restricted or unrestricted. Restricted water would be water used for growing cotton, where unrestricted is water that's used for fruits and vegetables. Next slide. During metal finishing, copper residue is rinsed off parts being plated and directed into the wastewater system. Companies that do not have ion exchangers or other processes in place potentially flush the toxic copper into lakes and streams. In the lab, we were able to determine the feasibility of treating this water for reuse as direct crop irrigation in California. Next. We would like to thank Curtis and Shirley Chambers, the Murray Gallinson San Diego Israel Initiative, and the Israel Institute for this opportunity.